Addictions are ruining our marriages. We are addicted to our cell phones. We're addicted to social media. We're addicted to pornography. We are addicted to marijuana, to drugs, to video games. And each and every one of these addictions has an impact on our marriages and has an impact on our relationships. And sometimes we tend to blame the individual. We tend to blame the addict. We tend to blame the person who is indulging in these desires. And yes, of course, there is personal blame, right? There is a lack of perhaps personal responsibility. But I really think that this is a societal issue. This is a failure of society where we have done everything to progress technology, to bring us to the forefront, to bring us all of these products and all of these convenience, but we forgot about the heart. We forgot about individuals and we forgot about human beings, right? Our ancestors, our pious predecessors, they understood that freedom is not the ability to do what you want, right? Freedom is the ability to be free from your desires. And that's the problem, right? Is that when we are looking for freedom, we're looking for freedom in the wrong place. Let's talk about, for example, pornography, right? Pornography is rampant. And what have we done? There's absolutely nothing that society has done to try to limit pornography. Rather, we are pumping more and more attention, more and more money, more and more technology in order to make pornography more available. And we can see how these addictions have an impact on our marriages, right? Pornography obviously has an impact on our marriage in the sense that there's many men who can't even perform anymore because they're too used to seeing things on the screen, right? And they don't get turned on by something being in their face, right? That there's something real, something in front of you, but we're not interested anymore, right? Because we have these played out images that we look at every single day, be it on the websites, be it on Instagram, be it on social media, be it on TikTok, and we can see how that has an impact on our marriages because we don't find our spouses attractive anymore, right? Another very big problem is addiction to marijuana, okay? And for some reason, Muslims love marijuana, right? You see big old beardos and people at the masjid, people all over the place who won't do anything. They won't eat haram, they won't eat non-zabiha, but for some reason it's okay to smoke marijuana. Why? Because it's not that bad. It's not mentioned in the Qur'an, right? It doesn't impact your work. It doesn't impact anything. You can go on your day-to-day and be that professional that you need to be. But what we're not realizing is the impact that that marijuana addiction has on our marriage, right? Because what happens when you are high, you are not there emotionally, okay? And the biggest complaint that wives have or women have with men who smoke marijuana is that they're just unavailable emotionally speaking. Your emotional intelligence is gone, right? You could bring up whatever fatwas you want about why marijuana might be okay and it doesn't do anything and blah, 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 but there is an impact and it's impacting our marriages because we are not there. We're in la la land, right? And there's nothing that really moves us. There's nothing that shakes us. There's nothing that makes us cry. There's nothing that makes us happy. There's nothing that makes us laugh because we become a zombie with this marijuana, right? Guys are addicted to video games, sitting in their basements for hours and hours, forgetting about their wives, forgetting about their children, forget about growth, forget about the next step and going to the masjid and reading Qur'an and learning about Islam. Forget all about that. Why? Because we are so caught up in our video games. And this is not only men, right? It's not only men who have an addiction problem. Women also have an addiction problem. We're addicted to the images that we see online. We're looking at that life, somebody else's life, and asking, why don't I have that life? Right? We don't realize that there's a whole facade, there's a whole background behind that whole scene that you don't see. And the problem is that society has not done any favors. Rather, they're pushing these addictions forward. And technology has progressed and conveniences have progressed, but some reason we have regressed in the way that we build our character, in the way that we become free from our desires, right? And this is really a symptom of human suffering, right? What is the opposite of human suffering? Is human flourishing. And that's what Islam wants. That's the goal of Islam, is for human flourishing. But our society, they don't care, right? Our society just cares about money. How can we make more profit? They don't care about our hearts being clean. They don't care about our hearts being on the deen. They don't care about our families being strong and intact. Rather, this human trauma, this human suffering is caused by the destabilization of our society, the destabilization of our families, the broken families, the godlessness in our societies. We have no purpose anymore, right? You look at the average man, you look at the average woman, what are they doing? All they care about is how many likes they get on Instagram. All they care about is beating the next level on their video games. All they care about is that next porn video and having all these tabs up and feeling guilty and disgusting after the act. Why are we falling into this? I think it's because we've forgotten our purpose. We have forgotten what freedom really means, right? And there's many things that we can do. There's many things that we can do to try to break away from these distractions, from these addictions. We have to keep ourselves busy, right? We have to start working out. We have to start reading. We have to start keeping good company. We have to go to the masjid. We got to shut down our Instagram. We have to shut down our internet and only use it for the purpose that it's meant for, to work or for learning or for research or whatever it might be. But this addiction to entertainment is killing us and it's killing our marriages, right? The other thing that we can do to stop these addictions is to change our environment, right? If you see yourself smoking marijuana with these set of friends, you need to get rid of those friends. If you see yourself watching pornography in the bathroom, don't bring your phone in the bathroom. Maybe switch down to a flip phone, right? Make it a point that we are going to challenge and try to address our addictions. And this needs to be a team effort. Wives, I'm talking to the women. Don't blame and don't judge your husband if they have these problems. You need to help them, right? Because this is a symptom of some type of suffering. Maybe it's from the past, maybe it's some trauma, maybe it's something that's going on in their life, and there needs to be a team effort in order to solve these addictions. And so many marriages are crumbling because of alcoholism, because of drug addiction, because of pornography addiction, because of video game addiction. What is going on in the society, right? We have the answers. We as Muslims, we have the answers. Allah understands that we have need for addictions and that we have a need to fill our hearts with something. And what's happening is that we all have this void in our hearts and we're trying to fill it with everything except for Allah, right? We're filling it with money, of fame, of likes, of validation, of that high. But nothing is going to fulfill it except for Allah, right? And we know that verily the hearts find rest in the remembrance of Allah. You're not going to find rest in all of these vices, in all of these addictions. Our marriages are suffering, our children are suffering, our society is suffering. We as men and women, as husbands and wives, have to step up and address these addictions, right? It's so sad to see how people can become so drowned in their addictions and forget about their family and forget about their spouses, right? And so this is a plea, right? And I have a very addictive personality. I understand, how hard it can be. But if you keep yourself busy, if you do the things that we were talking about, inshallah, with the help of Allah, with the help of our spouses, with the help of our family and our community, once we start talking about these things, making, AA, Alcohol Anonymous, for example, making that available in our masajid, why don't we have that, right? Why don't we have support groups? Why don't we have open dialogue about these problems in our community? We never talk about divorce and we never talk about drugs. Why? It's not, and this is a misconception that many masajid and many board members and, people have, that if we talk about it, it's going to increase it. No, we need to talk about it so that we can come up with solutions as a community, right? So I pray that inshallah that we realize the true meaning of freedom, that we become free from our desires, and that we are able to put these aside and make our purpose Allah, make our purpose our family, make our purpose something, because the broader society, they have no purpose. We have a purpose and we need to find it. So, inshallah, I pray that this is beneficial, and that if any of you guys need help, right? If any of you guys need help with marijuana addiction, for example, reach out to me, right? I know many people who have gone through it and who have overcome it. And I promise you, your life will change. You'll sleep better. You'll start having dreams. You'll be able to feel feelings. You'll be able to cry when your heart is moved. You'll be able to laugh when something's funny. I'm telling you, your emotional life will change. So until next time, inshallah, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.